Yes, sir.
All right. Let me see. All right, one more time. This is Tropical People and Places TV, and today we're going to be discussing that topic: tourism or agriculture. Which one built roads and houses for us? Because when you look and you listen to the local media, what we have is a situation where there's a lot of emphasis on tourism, and which is good, which is acceptable. There's a lot of emphasis on tourism, but there's a neglect of agriculture. And what we have seen in years past is that the agriculture sector enriched a lot of our local people personally. But what I'm proposing is, we have not seen a situation in this country where the tourist industry or working in the tourism industry has really benefited or enriched our people, the people that we know. For the most part, what we see is the hotel owners are the ones that have been enriched. We saw a situation where in farming, especially in the green gold era, where people were able to build houses from the proceeds of agriculture. People were able to buy their vehicles. People were able to even send their children to university from some agricultural services from the production of crops. But we have not seen that. We have never seen that in the tourism industry. But why is it that we're seeing so much of the money, the country's money, is being used to pay for planes to come to St. Lucia, to advertise St. Lucia overseas, which we do not have a problem with? But at the same time, we've seen a situation where the policy that they have for agriculture in this country is to give a farmer a bag of fertilizer or two bags of fertilizer. So today we have with us Mr. Edwin and Richard Edwin. So I'm going to allow him to introduce himself properly to you.
Okay. I am Richard Edwin. I'm basically a community person, and I'm just like everybody else, I suppose. I'm looking at, how things evolve in our community, how things pertaining to the economy. I look at the agriculture, especially the agriculture department, certain specific areas in agriculture in particular. Looking at I'm looking at the tourism. I'm looking at the general economy. I'm looking at policies surrounding, those parts of the economy, and how they play out, how they, among the people, and how they help, the people. It is interesting that tourism is one of the main, industries in St. Lucia. It is everything revolves around tourism. Well, in the past, it was not that. It was like everything revolved around agriculture. But over the years, what we have seen is that everything revolve around tourism, and that a lot depends. In fact, everything depends on tourism, and it has not played well for the survival and for the enrichment. I don't even want to talk about enrichment as such. What I want to talk about is essentially, the survival of the people, whether the people benefit from tourism or whether they don't benefit from tourism. And from my perspective, a lot more can be done to enable the people to get more from tourism or to get a little thing out of it. So in this case, what we may want to do is to look at the structures, how the tools industry is structured,
Mhm.
because this is how you can get whatever outcome you want out of something is the way that you structure it.
Mhm.
In this case, I'm saying that the tourist industry is structured in such a way that it's not designed actually to benefit the ordinary people, the
Mhm.
vendors.
Mhm.
It's just designed to benefit the investors.
Mhm.
An investor may come with a certain amount of money and say, okay, I want to build a hotel.
Mhm.
Okay, and what do you expect to get from that? Okay, they will say, okay, we'll provide jobs. But the jobs that they are providing in the hotel industry, well, construction, maybe a bit of construction. After the construction is over, then they will bring people, bellboys, and the different people to manage and to sell, you know,
Mhm.
the room maids and that kind of thing. But you'll see that this is only These are jobs that people become very stagnant in these jobs, and they don't move up the ladder. So they become clustered into a situation where we provide services and then we don't participate in the policy making, policy decisions, and so we hardly make any progress from one stage to the next at that level. That's my.
So you were talking about the structure of tourism,
Mhm.
and one of the things that I see is that the whole concept of the all-inclusive hotels,
Mhm.
that structure is one of the most dangerous thing to the growth of ordinary people.
Mhm.
It's been decades. You've been hearing St. Lucian clamoring against the whole idea of this all-inclusive hotel business. Yet, no attempts or very little attempts is being made on the part of ministers of government
Mhm.
to ensure that the people on the streets get a piece of the pie.
Mhm.
You have a situation where the fellas, people who want to come to St. Lucia, they pay for everything overseas. The money stays overseas.
Mhm.
They want the hotel people want to take care of the meals at the hotel, the lodging, and everything. So they want to take care, be responsible sometimes for even the tours. And so there is very little opportunity for the people to get the thing trickling back down to them on the outside. And for years, people have been complaining about that all-inclusive hotel business.
Mhm.
But one of the most fearful thing is every 5 years we have a situation where we elect people or people ask you to support them, and the things that you want to hear, that's what they say. But we have not seen none of these politicians come out and actually talk about how they're going to let the people on the streets get a piece of the pie. We had a situation where they were talking about village tourism, where the people they were supposed to facilitate tourists coming to the rural areas. They had that project in the valley and all of that, and it looked like this thing has stopped. But we need to think of more innovative ways so that the ordinary man on the street get a piece of the tourism pie. We have a situation, okay, where when you sell to if you are a farmer and you sell to some of these hotels, it will take you 3 to 4 months to get your money back.
Mhm.
And that is one of the ways that at least we can get something from what is happening in these hotels. But they will still take a long time to pay you. You understand? So, and what has been done? We are not seeing anything happening to actually prevent that from happening. There's a guy who was minister of tourism. We were at a meeting with him before he became a minister, before he got into politics. He was working for one of these hotel places. We were at a meeting and we were telling this guy because he came representing one of the big hotels up north.
All right.
And we told him that we asked him, why is it that it's taking 3 to 4 months for farmers to get paid? He said that is not true, that is not happening. When the other guy started putting pressure and even, starting to use obscene language
Mhm.
to make him behave himself, then he humbled himself. And this guy, to me, he is somebody that the tourist industry plant in government
Mhm.
to
Mhm.
get their wishes done.
Mhm.
And so we elect people, our local grassroots people who benefited from agriculture. These ministers we have, some of these government fellows, or most of them, it was farming and agriculture that really paid for their university studies and everything.
Mhm.
Now they are there to represent the farming sector. And it is almost like these people just forget like farming supported them. You understand? So right now, this is why people like me, we're trying to see if we can ignite in the people a desire to want to develop themselves, develop their products, develop their minds in such a way that we benefit directly from the
Mhm.
tourism vibe that is going on in this place.
I think the only way you can benefit the ordinary person directly in the tourist industry is that a structure again, it
Mm,
has to be integrated
mm,
into agriculture.
mm,
Okay, the tourism industry has to be an extension, or agriculture has to be an extension of the tourist industry. It
mm,
become all part, of one. Where for example, we don't have cottage industries,
mhm,
right? There have to be a deliberate attempt to build cottages,
mhm,
in the various places, and perhaps, maybe the government can take the role to actually initiate that kind of thing. But
mhm,
some of the money that they are spending in tourism,
mhm,
they can take it to say, okay, build certain samples
mhm,
of cottages
mhm,
along the, around the island. they have to develop, let's say, model agricultural